I was deployed in RC East, Jalalabad, Afghanistan. I was on a 12-month deployment, and I was 7.5 months into the deployment when I was struck by an IED. I was injured on November 15th, 2011. We were attached to an engineer convoy that was doing a route clearance package, clearing the routes and roads for IEDs. And we were, I want to say, the 7th vehicle in the convoy when the front tire struck the anti-personnel landmine, which initiated the main charge. It went off underneath me. I was strapped into a troop carrier vehicle that we were operating out of, and the 80-pound charge went off directly underneath me.
The Moonlight Fund is what we call a good old-fashioned charity, nonprofit giving as it should be. Our operating costs are 6 to 8%, and that's because we keep the overhead low. That was our commitment when we initially founded this, that nobody would be padding their pockets, there would be no fancy office, and yes, I'd like some help some days in the office, but yeah, 6 to 8%, which is remarkable.
I was deployed to Southeast Afghanistan, which is also known as RC East, at a small COP named Cop Shark. I was supposed to be there for 12 months, and I was there for 12 months. I actually got deployed in October 2009 and got shot 1 October 2010.
There were a couple of times where I got injured throughout my tour. I was at Cop Kushman. I just flew in, making my rotations. As I was crossing, we called it Shit Creek. We didn't have running water out there. I heard the first mortar come in and clip the talk. They had a spotter, and they were hitting what they wanted to hit. So I darted off, trying to obtain myself to the closest bunker. Their mortar went off, busted both of my eardrums.
I was shot twice by an Afghani National Army member while I was pulling a casualty back to base. I was shot twice with an AK-47 from a distance of between 5 to 7 feet. First bullet actually blew up in my stomach. Second bullet is still wedged in between my L2 and L3 of my spine. So there's been a lot of incidents lately where the Afghani National Army has turned on American soldiers. So we really didn't know the intent of that soldier, if he was trying to, really injure me or, try to kill me. So for them to say that it was friendly fire is kind of disappointing, just because we've had so many accounts of, American soldiers being shot by these people that were trying to help out. So getting shot by an Afghanistan National Army soldier that was with us, it's just disheartening that I don't get the Purple Heart, because they say that we weren't under direct contact at that exact time.
My second injury was December 23rd, 2009. We were about 3 clicks out of our COP. I have a hard time remembering the details of what happened due to the fact I had a traumatic brain injury during this incident. We were in the middle of a firefight. We couldn't push forward, we couldn't push back, and we couldn't get air support due to the fact we were inside a village due to civilians. So we were kind of trapped. We had to call in artillery on our position. I remembered suppressing fire out of the building, but the building ended up coming down on me. I'm on a cane, and I defended my country, but I sacrificed the chance of ever holding my kids again.
That's one of the hardest aspects of this injury is, again, everything you work for is just gone. It completely uproots your life. It moved my family from Washington State down here to Texas. It not only affects me, but it affects my family. It just completely it did a 180 from the goals, the directions we were headed.
I was in a wheelchair for 7 months. I consistently take medicine to this day, over 14 to 15 different medicines just to be normal. And, I want to be able to be the father, the husband that I want to be. But sometimes, this injury has kind of hindered me from, being happy. Because it is hard to be happy when you're constantly hurt and constantly in pain and going through PTSD, which is a real thing that a lot of people don't believe in.
I became acutely aware that there were so little services out there for them.
With all the other organizations, I didn't get that personal invitation from somebody saying, hey, you need to go over here and try this,
Our retreats were originally, we started them in 2007 at the request of one of our caseworkers on the burn unit. And we knew that we wanted them to be different. We wanted a lot of privacy. We didn't want any schedules. Our soldiers have enough schedules.
The Moonlight Fund is just an excellent, excellent place. Just because it's so well run. Celia is just such an awesome woman, and she's able to, really help out the wives. And my wife actually went with the Moonlight Fund and had a makeover with other women. And during that time, she got to meet new people. And, one of the hard things about being a wounded warrior spouse is that they feel alone. Everything has changed in their life. And, our organizations like the Moonlight Fund have bring them together, and she got to meet new people and hear their stories. And, it's good for her to have that.
I was just in the burn ward a couple weeks ago, and Sweet Rides came down and helped with donations, got these Kindles for the soldiers to be able to get in contact with their families while they're in the hospital. I got a ride with Chris Crawford in his Ford GT. And it was awesome, just getting out again. One thing I love is cars, and being around those kind of guys again. Some motorheads, some grease monkeys, whatever you want to call us. It's really shocking from where the help really comes from. Does it really come from Dell or Apple or Morgan Stanley? No, it comes from people that really care about this country. And it's Sweet Rides, it's the Moonlight Fund, and and I believe, like Celia Bell told me, as long as I keep on doing what I'm doing, God will reward me.
If I could say one thing to a burn survivor, I would say fight. And in fight, I mean work hard for your recovery. Remember your family. Life's going to be different. It's never going to be the same. But it's your life.